Hello, stampers and crafters and friends. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And I just want to welcome you into my stamp studio today, knowing that the weather here in Seattle is absolutely beautiful. And this is just fun for me. I can't tell you how I used to dread Wednesdays. They're kind of like middle of the road. Used to make lots of fun regarding this day, but now because of the stamps and because of the designs that I get a chance to do, I really enjoy my Wednesdays. So today we are going to do this sketch, and this is brought to you by BTC, which is Beyond the Challenge, which is a group I belong to. Now, anytime you see a sketch that doesn't have any measurements on it, that kind of has some designs that you don't know exactly how big you want to make them, it has circles, you may or may not have anything circles, that's where you get a chance to use your creativity and you get to play as much as you want. So what I want to do is show you my first card, and it's all about the butterflies, and the butterflies are taking the place of the three circles. Instead of having the sentiment right over top of the butterfly, I put it up at the top. Now, I didn't know it was going to be a red, white, and blue until I was photoing my cards last night, and I kind of went, oh my God, red, white, and blue. But that is not where I went with it. I just wanted something that had some fun colors that I could use. And I did the same thing. These are stamped with blending, or with markers. So today I'm just going to show you how I use the marker. So let's get ourselves started. Bringing out a little bit of everything. All right, let's go over some stuff. All right, our butterflies are from Sketch Butterflies and Dies. So I use this little butterfly down here in the corner. And I just thought it would be great to do something a little bit different with the sketches, because I think that a lot of people just kind of say, copy the sketch and then you're good, but it's bigger than that. All right. You brighten up so many of my days. That's the other one. And then I have these four little butterflies at the end. When you open it, it comes with the dies. So all the dies pretty much match the outside of the stamps. Okay, the butterfly stamps. So this is just really fun to create and add a little bit of markers with it. The sentiment was die cut from this banner. Okay, it's the smaller of the two. If you wanted to put some type of a layering, you could also use this one. But I just did that. Then, I also used the new stamps, there it is, the new Eyelet 3D, which is in the catalog now. It's really quite fun. You can't see it very well. Let me see if I have something that I can. There you can see it. And you can even see it more on the cardstock. Well, let's see. There you go. So it looks like it's little flowers with some dots around it, or leaves with some dots around it. There you go. All right, and I just use the emboss side. Then my markers are Boho Blue, Night of Navy, Blueberry Bushel, and Cherry Cobbler. And then I finished everything off with some of the Rhinestone basic jewels. The stamping that I did for the sentiment was in Blueberry Bushel. And I'm just getting out my butterfly so I can show you how I did this. I have a jewel behind here that would get in the way. All right, so what I started with is that I took the lightest and then I went from Boho to Blueberry to Night of Navy to Cherry Cobbler. Now this is my butterfly, and on this it's important that you understand that you can put your markers any place that you want that would create a nice design. If you had a bolder stamp, then you could mix the colors in and excuse me, it just gives it a really fun look. So I'm going to start. Everything we do is with the flare and not the part that I call my writing part of my marker. All right, you're going to turn your marker so you're on the side of the flare part, and all we're going to do is on different parts of the butterfly, we're just going to add some color. You can always go back and add more. All right, so here we are. And then we have our Night of Navy. That we're going to add. And then our last one is our Cherry Cobbler. Again, everything I'm doing is from the side of my marker. I'm just looking to see where I missed some spots, and that's where I'm adding my red. Now, if you don't feel like you used everything, then you can go back, oops, you can go back and touch up your colors. And this is the only one I'm going to do. Now, because we've used markers, the markers can dry really fast. So what we want to do is we want to huff. So it's like, it's almost like you're Darth Vader. Luke, you are my son. But anyway, it's a little bit different because it's going to just be a huff. So it's like, and that moisture in your breath will get onto the stamp, and then it'll give it a little bit of moisture. So then when you press it, oh no, I don't need that. When you press it onto the cardstock, then it looks like there's color. And the moisture gives it a nice little moisture, so the color comes out. Now on that, you still have your stamp set that looks like it's still colored. so you'll have to wash it off. And if I was doing 2 more between every time I stamped, because I want them to look a little bit different. I mean, look at this. Here's where my Boho is. Here's where my Boho is in here. All right, if you look on this one, it's up here in the corner, and it looks like it's a little bit down here in the corner. So that's it. So we have that, number 1, so wash it off. Then when I bring in my dies to die cut, I found out a little bit too late. These 2 little holes up here will let you know, and I don't know if you can see, where the antennas are. And then you want to line those up with the antennas of the butterfly, and then a little bit with the butt of the butterfly, and that's going to give you a good die cut. It only took me 5 to figure out. I did 6, yeah, I lied. I got about 2 right. Let's put it that way. Okay, so from here we are going to bring in our fabulous already done for camera, and you can see this one's just a little bit off, but you can at least see the antennas. So I sometimes there's just a big learning curve. So I have my card base, and in my card base, all I'm going to do is bring back in my markers. And again, using the side of my marker, all I'm going to do is give each butterfly a little color. And I'm just doing that so we can put it on the inside of the card. Let's get a little bit down here. And then I have my Night of Navy. And then I have my cherry cobbler. And there we go. Again, we need our huff. And there we go with our colors on the inside. So I'll get all that out of the way. So now we're just going to put this together. Again, all my measurements will be on my blog, so please go to my blog, ktstamps.com. And you may have to put a www in front of it. It will have everything that you need. This is just, I call it mono, and it's just liquid glue. And I like to use liquid glue instead of the Stampin' seal on this because it has, you know, it's debossed, so I don't want it to lose the debossing part. But now when it comes to the cherry, I will just use the seal. I'm going to give myself just a little bit on the side. Lately, you know, as I age, it's like I am not doing a very good job of lining things up. Like you can see, It is already crooked. I do not understand that part of me. Even with my 2.5 reading glasses. All right, so now all we're going to do is, these are mini dimensionals. So all I'm going to do is take off the back. Give them a little bit of wings. And just put that one up towards the top. This one is going to go towards the bottom. I'm going to stick my banner where I would like it, and then bring off the other butterfly as I'm just doing this with it, and then putting this right down the center, as much of the center as it can be. All right, and then I am taking my Stampin' seal, and then I'm just going to put that right there. So we're almost done with our first. Now, some friends have written to me saying, why don't you stamp the inside of the card? I gotta say, you guys, that sometimes I need to have either more room, less room on it when I am writing something. And so a lot of times I leave things, I decorate the inside, but then I just leave it because I really like to be able to tell people how I feel when I am in that moment. All right, so now we are just bringing in the rhinestones, and all I'm doing is putting it up by, right up here by where the butterfly's head is, right before the antennas. And I'm going to do a couple more, just to add a little bit more to the card. Feel like it's missing something. So there is my card. I just think it is just a really nice card, and one that I hope, if I ever sent you this card, it would brighten up your day. All right, so my next card is kind of a, I just call it a Keyvon. All right, these little bows are kind of where the, where are they? These little bows are where the top two circles are. And then I use the other circle just to write thanks in. Now, what's really weird about this is that I went with a green card, a Mossy Meadow card, because this had Mossy Meadow in it. And what I thought is that it was going to lift up just a little bit more so you'd be able to see the green. But both the Mossy Meadow and the Thoughtful Journey are both the same size. So that's how I did that. All right. And this is what I used. It's absolutely beautiful. It has what I would consider some type of a random, I don't know what artists call when they just randomly paint, watercolor paint, and it turns out to be all these beautiful colors. And then this one looks like it's some type of possibly cottontail, cat's tail. I can't remember what it's called, with it doing some type of water, having some type of water reflection. And this is absolutely beautiful. I mean, there are some beautiful, you know, designer series paper. Spotlight on Nature is that I just used number 2. God, it isn't even cleaned out yet. I used number 2. I lie 1, 2, 3, 4. I've used number 5 out of the 6. And then I also brought in my tool for cleaning. As you can see right now, I have a lot of white in here. But if I just go around with this little tool, I can clean this up. Yes, it does leave a mess. But you can see I've gotten rid of a lot of the white. Now, I also could come in with my pokey tool or the oh my God, what is this? I use it all the time. Take a pick tool, and I could just pick those out. So that's what I used from here. I also used the thanks from, whoops. Yes, I did. I used the thanks from the Thoughtful Wishes. This also comes with dies. And one of the dies I used in here so I could just show you what it looks like. I ran it through the cut and emboss machine, and then all I would do is this, and I would have a nice little design. Okay, I also put some adhesive, an adhesive sheet on the back, so when I take this off, it sticks really nicely wherever I put it. And then I would just have to go in, and some of these little areas where they're sticking, I would clean them up. Sometimes they come right off when you start to take the adhesive off. And the adhesive will make that area really sticky. So wherever you want to put it, it sticks and stays. I also use this beautiful specialty paper, and it is called Thoughtful Design. So a lot of this is the suite, the Thoughtful Wishes suite. And they are just absolutely beautiful. I think this was Pretty in Pink, Calypso Coral. This is Mossy Meadow, Lost Lagoon. But because it goes into 2 to 3 different colors, you can see on this one, there's pink and it goes down, and over here at the side, then it's purple. The same over here. You have the pink, that goes into a purple, that goes into a blue. And so this is beautiful, beautiful paper. And it's only designed on one side. The other side is white. Okay, trying to get everything out of the way so we can keep on going. We are using the Tinsel Gems. This is the 3-pack, which they come in Misty Moonlight, Fresh Freesia, and Lost Lagoon. And then we have our Baker's Twine Essentials that we are using the white, and I'm going to show you how I tie my bows. And then we have Dimensionals. Glue dots for adding the ribbon. So we're going to get all this out, and then I'm going to show you how I put it all together. We have a small little piece that will go on the inside of the card. All right. On this part, I used a piece of the foam adhesive sheets to use as the backing. All right, so here we go. First thing is that you want to make sure that you have all your pieces going in the same direction. Now for this one, I did this one just a little bit different. I think I did not. I used a bigger piece in the middle. Now with this, I'm hoping that it will line up better than the other one did. I'm going to use the two outside ones and then pop up this middle, and the middle then will be this piece with the circle on it. So that's what I did a little bit different. So I'm just getting out my mono. I don't want to use a lot. And I'm going to just slide it so it is even with the side of the card. And as you can see, I just am not doing a very good job of this. There we go. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with the other side. And I like this because I can move it just a little bit easier than with the adhesive. And if some of the green shows, I just let that be okay. All right, so here we go. We got that. So now let me get rid of all our little spots. We are just going to take our dimensionals. It just goes faster for me if I use tweezers than nails. And I'm just going to put 2 on the bottom and the top, and then 2 in the middle. And that will pop it just a little bit. And we are still working on this piece. And then off screen, all I'm doing is pulling off these dimensional covers. All right, so now I am just going to take that and line it up the best I can. So when you look at it, maybe you can't see, it gives a little lift. All right, so it just looks like it's lifting just a little. So now I am going to take this and place this down where you're going to lose a little bit of the spotting in here, but it's going to really bring out the outside. And with this, hardest part is going to get this, is going to be to get this started. And then you want to make sure that when you pull it off, you're just going to pull it off nice and easy. Be gentle with it. And you can see some of the middles are coming out. All right, so now we have that. And I just want to push that towards the side. Now I got a couple of leaves that kind of are hanging over. So I want to bring in my, I hope I have it over here. Oh, I thought I had it over here. I may need to run real fast. No, I am not. My embossing buddy. And I just want to tap the back, and that will take some of the sticky off. So I have some floating pieces over here. I want to make sure that they stay down. All right, but then the rest is stuck to the card. So that's our outside. So we are going to take the inside, and all I'm going to do is give this a good crease. And I wanted to do this last time, and I completely forgot. But I want to give it a little bit of height. So I am going to take my foam adhesive sheets, and I am just going to raise it up. And I'm going to also add one right in the center. Get this out of the way. So I'm just going to take off all the backs. And then I'm just going to adhere it. And I like the way that it looks. This one looks a little bit flat. This one has just a little bit of lift to it. I love that. So now I am bringing in my strip and just putting it up against the bottom. This is the side that we are using, so I want to go with a little bit different color. So I'm just going to stick this at the bottom. There you go, we're almost done. Now I'm bringing in my glue dots, and I'm just putting one way up here at the top. I thought it was. And then I am just going to bring in my ribbon and place it on top. I was hoping this was going to go under, but I don't think it is. Okay, we'll just have a wild and crazy ribbon on the top. And then how I tie my bow, again, I leave everything on the spool itself. Try to keep these in nice easy loop, like I'm tying my shoe. I go over, around, and then through. Pull on the ends. And then what I do is that I spend the rest of the time just trying to get a nice tie. That looks pretty good. I bring in my scissors. And then I give it a little cut. Now I put both of these on before I am putting the sentiment on, because I want to know where is going to be the best place for me to put these, and where can I have the best, pretty much centered area for my sentiment. Now on this one, I am going to roll it down and then stick it on. Because the top one has just a little bit too much showing that it can get stuck on everything. All right, from here, I'm just going to take off my backing. And I'm just going to put that right in the middle. Now this is also stamped with Blueberry Bushel. So now I'm going to just finish up the card, and I am going to take one of my big Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to just stick it right down there, and it just looks like it fits, and I think it's one of the colors that goes with this. I'm going to take a smaller fresh freesia, and I'm just going to bring it down towards the bottom. And then I just thought you might as well stay within this, and this is my pool party, and then I'm going to just bring it up a little bit higher so then you can see the colors and how they match up towards the front. So that is our card today for my fabulous Hump Day sketches. Oh my God, you guys, I absolutely love this. So these are the two cards that I made. I have my Thoughtful Journey, and then I have my markered butterflies. So thank you so much for being with me today. I will have these posted in just a few minutes, so you can see how I put these together. And I just hope you have a great day. So thank you so much for joining me. Have a great day. Bye-bye.